You're welcome after our short break on Sustainary Energy. In our last episode, that is episode 30, we started forestry law. In this forestry law, we touched on certain aspects that brought us to the topic which I planned for this episode. Now we are going to see those who can carry out forestry activities in Cameroon. In Cameroon, to carry out forestry activities, we are guided by the 20th of January 1994 Law on Forestry and its implementation decree number 95 by 531 of the 23rd of August 1995. Now, we are going to see certain articles in this law which gives us the hints on how or who can carry out activities while the implementation decree gives us the condition or the modalities for exercising these forestry activities. So with this in mind, I go straight up to our Article 41 of the law of 20th January 1994. Article 41 of this forestry law actually states that any person, be it physical or moral person, who is wishing to carry out forestry activities shall be granted approval upon conditions fixed by the implementation decree. Now, this implementation decree in its Article 35 spells out all the modalities or conditions necessary for exploiting the Cameroonian forests. Now, in these conditions, we have several. Amongst the several, we have a primordial condition. We have a fundamental condition for exercising or carrying out forestry activities in Cameroon. And this fundamental condition is that a contractual agreement be entered into between the forest exploiter or operator and the state of Cameroon. So once a contractual agreement has been entered into, then we know that the forest exploiter has met the fundamental condition needed for any exploitation exercise within this territory. Now, how does this person get to even secure this agreement? We have a body in Cameroon known as the Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife. This Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife, by acronym MINFOF, is in charge of granting such contractual agreements. Now, this Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife actually has a technical committee. It is this technical committee that is in charge of studying the documents of the forest exploiter and then finding out whether it is fit for the agreement to be entered into with this exploiter. Now, when this technical committee belonging to the MINFOF approves of the operator, then and only then can an agreement be entered between such operator and the state of Cameroon. Also, we have to know that if the activity is qualified as lucrative or commercial, that's another reason for which we shall find out if this activity can actually be given a chance in the first place. Yes, we can actually find an exploiter coming in wishing to carry out forestry activity, but then after the technical committee goes through the checks and control, it discovers that this activity is not going to generate funds for Cameroon in the first place. It's neither lucrative nor is it in a commercialized quantity, or it's neither lucrative or, yes, of course, or even if it's commercialized, it won't bring much to the government as per funds. Then that would be a good reason for not really granting an agreement. Now, with this in mind, we should know that an agreement must first and foremost specify three things. In every agreement, we have to know what the exploiter is agreeing to carry out vis-a-vis the government. Now, is it carrying out reforestation as per silviculture? Is the operator or exploiter carrying out forestry exploitation actually, like cutting of trees, taking them away? Or is it actually out for forest inventories? Which of these three conditions is clearly spelled out in his agreement, because he must be in charge of one of them. So this brings us to understand that whoever comes into the terrain or the region for forestry activities has one of these three activities which brings him in. Now, we have to know that such an aspirant has also other conditions which he must fulfill. The first of such will be his technical know-how. He will also be tested on his financial capacity, and lastly he will be tested on his professional capacity. This means that if the operator or the forest exploiter who is coming in steps in the domain of silviculture, which basically has to do with replanting of trees, that means that he is expected to have that professional know-how on how to handle the planting back of trees or reforestation. So this is exactly what we need to know as far as individuals or moral persons who want to carry out forestry activities in Cameroon are concerned. Now, there's a second part of it which I'd like you to know, and this has to do with our investors, those persons coming into Cameroon. We said in our last episode that for any person to carry out forestry activities in Cameroon, he has to be a national if he is a physical person. Now, if he is a moral person, that's like a corporate body, he could be a foreigner. However, such person must have his headquarters within the territory of Cameroon. Secondly, such person must have shareholders who are known to the forestry services. That means that the Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife must be aware, or of course must know those who are the shareholders involved in this specific company. So the investor must also be residing in Cameroon. Now, you cannot have a foreign investor, no matter his technical know-how, no matter his professional know-how, no matter his financial capacity. You can't have him sit out of Cameroon and forward his documents to Cameroon and say he wants to take part in forestry activities or in forest exploitation in Cameroon. He has to be here in Cameroon, residing here, and the company he is in charge of, or which he heads, must have his headquarters within Cameroon, and all the shareholders must be well known to the Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife. So that's exactly how an investor can be welcomed into our system to carry out forestry activities. This is clearly meted out in Article 41 Sub 2 of the Law of 20th January 1994 on forestry, and also in Article 9 of the same law on forestry. You will find so much that will help you as per the investor who is coming in. So, hoping that this very brief episode was of great help, I hope to meet you after a very short break again, in good health and sound mind, to continue on our permits. So this means our next topic will be talking about the exploitation permits in forestry activities in Cameroon. This today with you again was your very own Barrister Egbe, your experts in the field. Hope you had a wonderful class and hope to meet you shortly. Bye. Have a wonderful day.